So growing up, I was from a council area, which is similar to what the projects are in the USA. And from the ages of about 16 right up until 24, I lived a very, very degenerate lifestyle. You know, do I blame myself? I don't blame myself. No, I don't blame myself. So we're going to get into this. So me, myself, never really had any male role models. A lot of the lads that I grew up with, there was no dad about, there was no dad present, there was no uncles to, you know, help us get into a business or give us any sort of guidance. So we were just figuring this shit out ourselves. Now, when we were growing up, there was no, you know, strong role models. Even online, there was none of that. You couldn't go on YouTube and find, you know, an Andrew Tate podcast. You couldn't find, you know, somebody with, you know, good knowledge, good strength to teach us how to be men. We were just figuring this shit out. So a lot of us took to rap music. You know, that was the closest thing. That these guys looked a little bit similar to us, had a bit of a similar upbringing, and those were the only people that we could sort of, you know, look up to. And it was sort of like the blind leading the blind leading the blind, if you will. Like, if you look at a lot of these rappers, like I look at it now being a 35-year-old man, and I look at a lot of them rappers that I grew up listening to, and when I can't even listen to that shit anymore. Like I'm like I actually feel sorry for my ears and for my mind, listen, because I constantly listen to it. So did everyone else that I grew up with. We just listened to, you know, all of these rappers talking about, you know, going in and out of jail and selling drugs and, you know, and treating women like hoes and bitches and da-da-da and getting tatted all over the place. Like we thought that was normal, you know. So growing up, I lived a very degenerate life, as probably some of you guys watching this video are still living that life, and that's why you've clicked onto this. So you know, like I said, never really had any male role models. My dad left at a very crucial time in my life. I was about 16 years old when he just disappeared, vanished. I don't know what happened there, but he left, and I don't really care about that anymore because I'm older, because I'm a strong man. That doesn't really faze me anymore. But I say that to say, you know, that life that I lived was like, when I look back at it, it was so bad, man. Like, just for one, like, you can just see like all the tattoos. When I look at them now with a clear head, I'm like, I look a mess, man. Like I said to you guys in another video, I'm currently going through laser treatment to get this shit taken off me. Like, I look at myself like, what have I done? Like, and I look at something, like, if I just show you, you can't even really see this one here, but this one here, it says London Road family. So I'm from an area called London Road, and that's where like all of my boys are brought up, and we had sort of like similar to, you know, like the gang culture in America. That's what we were trying to replicate. And, you know, like we knew in it, we know what like, I have experienced, you know, what an inside of a cell is. You know, I understand being arrested and, you know, police knocking at your mum's house and at 2, 3 in the morning. I experienced, you know, people coming for me at my family house. You know, I experienced, you know, degeneracy, man. Like drinking till 3, 4 in the morning, waiting for the shop to open to get another drink, and just partying, you know, treating women with the most dirtiest respect ever, treating them like bitches, like whores, like, you know, what this music was like teaching us, you know, getting all this ink. You know, in hip hop, they you know, they say, you know, we don't care about the law, we don't take rules. This is what hip hop is. This is what rap was. So, you know, it was like, all right, I got kicked out of school. I don't care. You know, I don't want to listen. I don't want to obey anyone. You know, and that's not the way to live. So I lived from 16 right up until 24. I lived a very degenerate life, man. You know, partying all the time. There's music. I made loads and loads of rap music, and it's all over the internet. I've got hundreds of songs all over YouTube. Maybe one day I'll show you guys, but maybe one day I just, you know, I don't know if I should. I don't know if that's something I want to do, because that sort of life is dead to me now. It's finished, man. So for anyone struggling with like going through, I always knew that like this life isn't right. You know, I got to a certain, I think I got to about the age of 19, 20, and I just felt off key, man. I felt like, what is going on? You know, I had tattoos on my face over here, you know, and oh my God, man, it was just a joke. I got them lasered off, you know, you can sort of see one, but alhamdulillah, that come off, you know. And when I could really see it, like guys that I was imitating, all these rappers, I look at them now, bro, and they look like soft, weak, demasculated men. There's probably only one rapper that I could see that is a proper, like how a man should be. It's probably 50 Cent. you know, and even then he probably has his own demons. I don't want to say anything, you know, but there's not really any like proper strong male role models in the rap industry, you know, and I can see that now. So, you know, and I just want to say to anyone who's going through this degenerate life, like, don't be too hard on yourself, man. Like, it's not your fault. And I wish someone said that to me, like, it's not your fault that you're living like this. Like I said, we've got no male role model around, you know, we're just watching what the others are doing. One of my good friends is like, one of my very, very good friends, you know, is a lot older than me, but he took me under his wing at a young age, you know, and he was selling whatever he was selling. He was buying some nice clothes, you know, he'd always take me around women's houses and this kind of stuff, and I thought that was what I wanted to do, you know. Luckily I never got into like selling anything, because I didn't want to get into all of that madness, man. You know, sold a bit of weed here and there when I was very young, but apart from that, like, I never really got into that. So that life, like, from how I am now, is like hundreds and hundreds of light years away from me, man. Like, I think about their memories, and like me and my wife were sitting there the other day, and we put one of my old songs on and when you look on it, it says like 12-13 years I uploaded it ago. So I uploaded them songs 12-13 years ago, and like one or two of them had like, because there wasn't really any like video cameras, and well, there's video cameras, but there weren't camera phones, you know. It was like, back then I think it was like you only had a BlackBerry phone, and the cameras on them were fucking shit. And yeah, but there was one or two little videos, and you could see how I looked back then. And oh man, I just like, yeah man, I just like feel a little bit sorry for anyone going through this life, because I understand it. So anyway, I say that to say, here are a few tips of mine on how I eradicated that, you know, that whole degenerate life, and became a strong male role model for my children and for other men. And that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. So number one is like, I think is like one of the biggest ones, you know, and it was settling down with my wife. I don't know why or what happened, but it sort of like just calmed me down. And now, granted, it didn't for the first few months or whatever. I was still, you know, like, I wanted to be at parties, I wanted to be out there, I wanted to be doing like, you know, degenerate shit. But as time went on, it gradually calmed me down, you know, and, you know, my wife would calm me down as well and say like, yo, let's just chill, let's go for some food. And then you end up just sort of like slowly like not spending time with them people that, you know, that you live that life with, you know. And because that's one thing, like, you have to sort of like, you have to get away from them. You have to get away from them people, because, you know, as much as you might, you know, say that I've got loads of love for them, you know, these are like my bros, you know, you're all sort of like in this mix together, and none of you are helping each other. Do you know what I'm saying? So you need to find something that like gets you away from them. And me settling down with my wife, you know, as time's gone on, it's gradually like just took me out of that life, you know, made me more peaceful, made me more humble. I just wanted to hang out with her, have fun with her, you know, and do normal stuff, man. We'd go out for food, go to the cinema, take a, you know, back then, like, take a little bus journey somewhere. Like, it was nice. It was just more peaceful. I started seeing myself in a different light, and I looked at and it's weird, that was around that time when I got with her, that was around the time I actually could see myself properly. And I looked in the mirror and I looked at all my tattoos, and I was like, yo, what the fuck did I do, man? It's crazy. Like, I was like, I want to be like a normal bloke, man. I just want to go to work, hang out with my missus, you know, go on holiday or whatever I wanted to do, go away with her for the weekend. And I looked at myself, I was like, yo, I look mental, man. Like, all these ink and all, like I said, I had tattoos here, I got them lasered straight away, man. so yeah, settle down with someone. If you can't find someone, like, you know, try to, man, you know. It might be hard now because a lot of women are degenerate in this day and age in their life, but if you can find someone that's cool, you know, that you can hang out with, be yourself around, then I would say, yeah, man, like, settle down. That's one of like the biggest things for me, settling down. That really just calmed me down, man. The next one, it's quite an obvious one, but a massive one for me, is going to the gym every single day. I didn't have a workout routine growing up. I had absolutely no workout routine. Like I said, growing up, you guys are lucky, man. You've got all of this, you know, you've got all this motivational stuff online. You've got workout routines to follow. You know, we didn't have none of that shit growing up, man. Like, I think there was like one gym, like, in the whole of my town. There was like 2 gyms max in my whole town, and and they were just shit. One of them was like on top of a swimming pool, and the other one was like just, I don't, no one was into the gym. Like to us, it was like a little bit corny to go to the gym, you know, because now it's cool, but back then it was like, it was more like a fitness instructing kind of, I don't know, it was just weird. It was not like, it wasn't like a masculine thing to do. So but then, you know, as gyms started opening, I started going to the gym, and it just changed my whole perspective of life. I went from like watching all these rappers and looking up to these rappers to, you know, YouTube started coming about a little bit. So I started looking at, you know, people like Mike Rashid and then CT Fletcher, all of these people, Elliot Hose, Brandon Carter. I started seeing these kind of men. I was like, I want to be like these guys. I want to be a strong man. You know, I want to be about my business, man. I want to like earn respect, because I didn't really, you know what, I was like one of them, how can you put it? I was like one of them pretty boys growing up, if you want to call it that. I was always like, you know, I made sure I always looked good. I always tell you guys, always make sure you look good. But I wasn't, I guess you could say like, there was no masculine role, like, because there was no masculine role models around me. I didn't really understand about training and being strong, and, you know, so when I saw these guys, like, yo, you know, I want the respect. I want to like become strong. I want to get hench. You know, I want people to respect. I want people to be nervous when they see me, because that's what you got to be as a man. One day you're gonna be a dad. One day you're gonna have a family. You want to be that guy that's like, yo, don't mess with this guy's family. You know, like, this guy is mental. Yeah, that's what you want. You want to be a strong fucking man, innit? Like, and when you look at all these like musicians, bro, look at Lil Wayne. Look at all these guys. Look at Justin Bieber. Look at T.I. All these people, like, I would, you know, I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I don't look at these men as like, you know, masculine, strong men, you know? So when I saw that, I was like, I'm going to get in the gym. So I started going every day, 7 days a week. I started training, took a little bit of gear or whatever, but I stopped that quickly because they didn't agree with me. Started getting stronger. I started getting respect. You know, people started like showing me a bit more respect. And that started my discipline journey of like, yo, like, I remember I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. And I remember one day I went into the gym and I'd done a heavy session. I'd done some cardio, come out, smoked a cigarette, had my protein shake. I threw up everywhere. And that was the very fucking last time that I smoked a fag. That's the very last time I smoked a cigarette, man. So that eradicated that life for me. Then as time went on, like, I was a big drinker, because obviously that's all we've done is party and drink. I eventually stopped drinking alcohol, you know, altogether, and I went ages without that, you know. Like, all right, fair dues, like after a few months or whatever, I started having it here and there, but nowhere on the level that I was. Like, life, like I said to you, like, my life was degenerate. So life was one big party. So every single day after, like, I finished my little job or whatever, get a bottle, go and hang out with some chicks, drink, go to work the next day, dying, eating crap food. That completely eradicated when I started going to the gym. And it started to humble me as well, man, like, as a man. You know, I gained like a lot of respect for my nan, for my mum, you know, just, I don't know why, I started to feel like a man. Like, I've got to look after, because back then I was just living with my nan. And I feel like I never really showed them a lot of respect. Like I said, police were always at the door for me for stupid shit. You know, I would get drunk and be at home just wiling out. And it just calmed me down. I showed them so much respect, and, you know, like, I really, like, even just talking to you guys, I feel really sorry for that I done that to them. So yeah, so the gym really humbled me. It turned me into a masculine man. So that's another one. Get into the gym, man. If you ain't got a gym routine, get into the gym. Find a gym routine and bang that out 6-7 days a week. Just get into the gym. Get yourself working, and that'll give you the discipline you need in life. The next one is learning self-defense. So remember I said to you, like, there was no one about to show me how to be a strong man. And one of the big things for being a strong man is learning how to defend yourself, defend your family, all of that kind of stuff. So what I done was, as time was going on, I got into the gym, you know, and then I was lifting, I got stronger, but I still didn't really understand, you know, how to fight. So I was strong, very fucking strong. I was, you know, deadlifting, I was squatting, I was doing all these big compound lifts. I got really big. There's actually videos of me on YouTube. Maybe I'll upload that maybe next week and just show you guys a little clip of, you know, me going through that phase of becoming a strong man. But I got really, really big, and started doing more powerlifting workouts, and I felt great, man. But I still didn't understand, like, how fighting worked, you know. So I got on the bag a few times, got, you know, but I still didn't really understand. So I joined I went to a few like little boxing lessons, but I wasn't really into the boxing. I don't know what, I found it a little bit boring, man. It was good for like technique, but I was good for technique, but I wanted to like, I don't know, it felt a bit robot-y. And then I got into MMA. So there was an MMA school next to me, about 10 minutes away from, you know, where me and my missus were living at the time. And I started going there. I got my arse whooped a few times, man, because I didn't really understand the technique. But as time went on, I got the bounce, I got the flow of it. I started learning my kit. I got so into it, man. And for years on after that, like all my workouts that I would do were centered around, you know, fighting. So I'd always do the 5x5. I'd always do bag work drills. I'd get on the pads whenever I could. You know, I'd do a lot of sparring. Then I started getting into jiu-jitsu, done jiu-jitsu off and on. Like, this is a time when, like, my daughter was about, you know, I started becoming more of a family man. So I couldn't go as much as I wanted to, but I went as much as, you know, I could, you know. And so I got into the jiu-jitsu, started rolling, you know, started learning how to defend myself on the floor. And even right up until now, man, I still hit the bag. You know, I do as much as I can. I do a lot of cardio, a lot of endurance training, a lot of strong lifts as well. So, you know, learning self-defense just added on to that discipline, added on to that confidence, man, to help me become a strong man and a strong role model to my children. So if you can, man, after the gym, try and get into some self-defense, man. And I highly recommend MMA because it's a multi-discipline sport. You know, you're going to learn kicks, you're going to learn groundwork, you're going to learn, you know, technique with, you know, you're going to learn how to punch properly, you're going to learn how to defend and all this kind of. So yeah, MMA, man, and learning self-defense, that's another big one. Okay, the next big one for me is getting really delved into my religion. So like I told you guys before, I'm a Muslim. My mum brought me up as a Muslim. You know, I got circumcised, I went through it all, but I never really understood Islam. And I just always used to, because I was going through this degenerate stage in my life and listening to a lot of music, and everyone that I was around was partying and drinking and, you know, going to nightclubs. I actually thought that Islam was, you know, is too much. I actually said to myself, Islam is too much, man. Like, you know, I can't do this, I can't eat certain foods, I can't drink, I can't smoke, I can't be around women, you know. And I never really understood it, so I never got into it. And my poor mum, bless her, like, you know, I'd be at home and I'd be upstairs listening to rap music, and I'd come down and she's just, you know, and she's just reading Quran and she's doing namaz, and I say, sometimes I'd actually say to my mum, like, Mum, why are you always reading Quran? Like, chill out, watch some telly. Like, I'd actually say that stuff for alarm. But I didn't understand. I did not understand what the deen was and why it was so big. But as life's gone on and as I've had my children, and, you know, as I've got older, I've become wise to these things. I truly understand why the deen is so important, man. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. Me, I don't want to get into the whole religion war thing. I actually looked up different religions, man. It's crazy how it came about. That might be a whole different video topic. But, you know, because I was born a Muslim, I'm one of these people, I'm like a bit of a free thinker. So I was like, I don't want to just say I'm a Muslim just because my mum is a Muslim, you know, and she brought me up as a Muslim. I want to like do my own research. So I got into like a little bit of Buddhism. I started meditating. Then I realised that, but there's no one to pray to, and I always liked that comfort of talking to God, you know, because I did practice the deen for a bit. Then I'd come away. Then I'd practice Islam again. Then I'd come away. The problem I had with Buddhism is, and there was no one to talk to. It was like you just sort of like everything can be solved inside, which is nice. I still meditate till today, but I don't take it as like a full-on like this is my religion. Got into Christianity a little bit. Started going to church. Started looking into Sikhism as well. I liked Sikhism. I liked what that stood for. But again, it was weird. Everything, it was like, it was organic for me because it came straight back to Islam. And I remember questioning my mum about certain things. I was like, Mum, you know, why is this like this? Why is this like this? And, you know, and the responses she gave me, I didn't really understand it. But then as time was going on, it was weird. I slowly drew back to Islam and everything just became so clearer for me, man. You know, no you know, same-sex stuff. I completely understand why that's right. You know, not eating pork, I completely understand this as well. Alcohol and intoxicants, come on, I completely understand. And music as well. Like I said to you guys, music was the #1 fucking culprit for me living a degenerate life. It was the worst one. You know, just looking at me, like, even if you look at me now, not watching this video, you saw me, you'd be like, oh, this guy's, you know, this guy's a criminal. You know, that's what you would say. People have said it to me. Bro, I've had people say to me, you know, oh, didn't know you like worked on computers and all this kind of, look, you look like you sell drugs, or, you know, you look like you work on a building site, like, come on, man. I'm a smart, intelligent guy. But because of the music, because it affected me so much, you know, I turned into one of these rappers. I looked like a fucking rapper. You know, I started turning into them. But so I understand that. I understand why tattoos are haram and we shouldn't have tattoos. There's so many things. But yeah, really getting into my religion and, you know, understanding and getting that relationship with God. I even, you know, I teach my daughter that now. I completely, wholeheartedly understand, you know, why we should all have a religion. So that's another one. Get into a religion. Now, I ain't going to say to you, I'm going to be biased towards Islam because that is what I am. And I've done my own research and I understand why it's the best one. But even just having some form of relationship with God. I've got a good friend who I met along my journeys, you know, and he's a devout Christian. And he's a good boy, man. He's a good lad, you know. And, you know, he don't do nothing wrong. You know, he's out to be a good man. So whatever religion you choose, just, you know, it can really just give you that discipline and give you that calmness about you as well. The next one is having a routine in my life. Now, this one is a big one. I didn't have no routine. I think only really the last 3 years I've started doing this, man. I had no routine. I didn't really understand how, you know, how to manage my money, how to manage my day. I had no routine. And I can't remember what I read. It might have been the Tim Ferriss book, 4-Hour Work Week, where he was talking about having a routine. And then I think it was like listening to, I can't even remember what it was, man. Might even have been like an Andrew Huberman podcast or something where he was talking about having a strong routine, strong morning routine. So for me, it started off with the morning routine. So, you know, having a routine in place. Like if I show you guys, you only need your nose. You don't need nothing fancy, man. So if I go over to here, I'll show you like, so this is like my weekday routine. So I write everything down on my notes about, you know, what I'm going to do to the second as well. So, sorry guys, let me just go back to what I was looking at. Okay, so yeah, I write down everything I'm doing in the day. That just gives me so much structure. It gives me so much discipline. So like I said, start off with your morning routine. That's what I've done. I started off with morning routine because I just wake up and start scrolling through YouTube, not really doing much, you know, and then I'd wake up, have a shower and go to work. There was no structure. I started, you know, getting a bit heavy on the stomach. You know, my food, I was just all over the place with food as well. And even with money, man, like I'd get paid and like I wouldn't even know what bills are coming out, man. I'd just like, yeah, pay whatever bills and whatever was left, and you know, I'd spend that on whatever. But then when I started really implementing a routine, a strong routine, I've even got a routine for the weekend, man. Like write down everything, honestly. So I wake up at 6 o'clock, shower, all this kind of stuff, prayer, 7 o'clock out the door, gym, 7, 8, 9 o'clock start working, 12 o'clock we'll have a walk, 5 o'clock we'll play some basketball or have a little run about with the kids, 6 o'clock dinner. Like really hone in on your daily routine, man. That one there is like a massive one that's really helped me, and it will help you with your finances as well. Have a look at what comes out each month, write that down. I've got all that down, so I know that my gym membership comes out, I know that, you know, my car insurance comes out this time, my food shopping is going to be this much, all of that. I write everything down, and now I'm so addicted to having routine. So if I don't have routine, I'm all over the place. I even do routine when I go on holiday. Like, it's that bad, but it's actually such a fucking good thing to have, man. Having structure, having routine in your life, you're not all over the place. You know, even like when it comes to lunch now, I know that I'm going to have some eggs because I've written it down and I stick to that. So yeah, having some strong routine in your life will really help. The next one is cutting off old friends. This is a big one as well. I still chat to like 1 or 2 of my old friends, you know. I can't erase my memories with them. The ones I do speak to from my past, they've sort of like grown as well in, you know, in life. You know, I've got so many others that are still in jail, that are still doing what they're doing on the streets, who aren't really doing much, who are drinking every day. And those are the ones, I got nothing, listen, I got no hatred towards them, I've got nothing against them, but I'm in a bit of a different journey, you know, in my life now. And so the one or two friends that I do talk to, you know, we've got a group chat, they've sort of excelled in life. Like, I've got one friend who's moved out of the area, he's met a nice woman, he's always in the gym, he's working on himself, he wants to grow a business, this is like, he's got big plans. My other friend, he works very hard. Granted, he still like parties on the weekend, but he's single, you know. But even him, he doesn't try and sway me, you know, in any way. Like, oh, come on, man, we'll go out, we'll go and party. He knows what it is, you know. So if I showed you like the amount of friends I had, maybe I'll do a video one day where I just show you everything, man, from the music to old pictures, and you know, maybe that would be the next video. But you know, if I showed you how many people were in my life that were just a drag. I had about 15 to 20 friends, man, at one point, and that everybody was just in, you know, wanted to party, wanted to drink, wanted to hang out with girls, wanted to smoke weed all the time. And a majority of them, man, are not doing nothing. They are, you know, and like I said, I've got nothing against them, but we're on a different path. And a lot of them are like working factory jobs or warehouses, and, you know, spend their extra money on smoking weed and drinking and hanging out with degenerate women and in a club still. And I ain't really trying to live like that. So I've cut them all off, man. I had to fucking cut them off. I see some of them now when I go to the gym or whatever, and I'll come across them, one or two of them, and they'll say, yeah, man, take my number. And, you know, like, I'll say, yeah, I'll take your number, we'll link up. Bro, I don't even save the number. I don't really want to be like that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm trying to excel in my life, you know. So yeah, if you've got degenerate friends, you know, friends that want to sway you in a different way, then you got to cut them off, man. And it's going to get a bit lonely, but you will come across new people in your new, you know, in your new life, man. Like, when you start going to, I don't know, to go to the church, go to a mosque, you'll meet new people. When you start to hit the gym, you'll come across new people. Like, when you go to self-defense classes, for example, you're going to meet good people, man. You're going to meet some good brothers, and you'll form new friendships. Like, the people that I chat to now, you know, are all, you know, lads that I've gone to the gym with, that I've learned jiu-jitsu with. They're just good people, man, you know. They're about their money, they're about their health, and that's what you want, man. Sorry, guys, if, you know, you see me, like, itching my eyes a little bit. I've got hay fever. Hay fever's coming. It's hay fever season, and my eyes are actually feeling it. Oh, my God, mate. Oh, man. So yeah, cut your old friends off, man, and you will find some new ones, and eventually, you know, get away from that degenerate life. Probably the most important one for me, and this is going to be a bit different for you guys, but I just want to say, like, from my point of view, was like the biggest one for me, man. Having kids and becoming a full-time dad. Yeah, so when I had my children, you know, I became responsible for another life. And I looked back at my life, like when I had my daughter, and as she was getting older, I remember, do you know what? Let me give you an example. I'm going to give you this. This is a really good example. And this was only a little while ago. I think this was a few months. This might have been about 6-7 months ago. I was listening to some hip hop in the car. I was listening to some rap, and it was a DJ Khaled song, and my daughter was in the back. The whole journey, we were driving. It was like a 45-minute drive. And I was playing like some Cardi B, because I still, you know, look, I still indulge in a little bit of music here and there. Yeah, it's embedded in me from a young age, so it's hard for me to just switch that off. But it's not as much as, I don't sit there and listen to it all day, but I had it on the whole journey, and I was really buzzing, like listening to this, and everything they were saying. And my wife was like, she was like, turn this off, man, it's like terrible. Like, I was like, nah, it's cool, man. And then, you know what, I looked at the mirror, I looked at my daughter at the back, I was like, my daughter's taking all this in. Subliminally, my little girl, who is 7 years old, is taking all of this in. Then I thought about my son. Then I thought about me. And I thought, imagine my son starts taking in all this music and all this rap music and stuff. And, you know, it says to me, Dad, I want to tattoo my face, and, you know, and gets into a wrong crowd because, you know, that's the in thing of, like, you know, drill music and all this kind of stuff, and wants to, you know, wear, you know, balaclavas and shit, and, you know, stuff for love. But this is the genre, this is the age we live in, all this drill, trap music. And it, you know, it just made me change. So I've always been like very conscious about my children, you know, having, you know, structure in their life, from everything else, from gym, self-defense, from my religion. You know, my daughter, she reads Quran, you know, she prays. We don't play degenerate music in the house like that. Like, even if we put music on, it's like a lot of like Asian music as well, you know. We play a lot of Asian music because it's not, you know, it's not as bad as like LA music and, you know, like, and rap music and stuff. It's actually quite humble. But yeah, when I saw that she was listening to that and taking it in, I was like, okay, this is a big red flag. I need to stop this. And that, being a full-time parent has actually like changed my whole concept on like how I want to live my life. Like, there was a time I was saying to my missus like a little while back, I was like, you know, maybe I want to get into, before I started the channel properly, I was like, maybe I want to do the music thing again, because like I said, I know it's bad, but I wouldn't want to, like, I wouldn't bring out music like me rapping or anything, but I wanted to like get into like music production, you know, and just bring out some nice music, some, you know, instrumentals, this kind of stuff that you can vibes to in the summer or whatever. And so I was even thinking about doing that. Then I really looked at it and I was like, I had to like watch it again. I was looking at all these like these men and women who are these entertainers. I was like, bro, I don't really want my children to be like them. I don't want my fucking son to be like Sam Smith. I don't want my daughter to be like a Cardi B. You know, I don't want that, man. I do not want that at all. So I was like, you know, so being a full-time dad will like just completely make your mind shift, man. You know, and what you're doing, you know, drinking alcohol around your kids. Some people, look, I know some people who do all of this shit in front of their kids. I've seen some people like actually give their kids a little alco pop, you know, just to start them off lightly and becoming drinkers and stuff. Like, bro, astaghfirullah, man. But I don't show my kids none of this, none of that life. My kids will never ever experience any of that life, man. You know, and I'm very, very determined to make sure they don't. So being a full-time dad, you know, like, I'm not saying to you guys, go and have a kid with whoever, but, you know, when you do eventually find that woman who you want to spend your life with, who you want to spend time with all the time, maybe think about, like, growing a family and, you know, making a nice household, because honestly, that just humbles you as well. And that will completely, like I said to you, I have got, like, old friends who still drink and smoke. I don't want my kids around them. Bro, I do not want my kids around them. You know, if one of them tried to knock on my door and say, yeah, I'm going to come in and drink some beers and no, bro, on your bike, mate, on your bike, innit? Like, so yeah, having kids is like a really, really big one that like really just solidified me being a strong masculine role model to my children and being on my purpose and, you know, just really honing in on what I need to do and what I want to do with my life, you know. So, you know, if you can, then, you know, if you can, and if you know, inshallah, maybe you find that woman who you think you know is going to be the mother to your children, who's a good woman, then yeah, I would suggest like just having some children, growing your family, and that will be like your circle. Your family become your circle, you know, and you want everything with them. It's a nice feeling, man. It's a really, really nice, you know, relaxing feeling to have that. So yeah, those are just my few tips of like escaping degeneracy, man. Is like, you know, hitting the gym every day, learning self-defense, get into your religion, delete your friends, old friends, you know, you're going to meet new people, having a strong routine, a morning routine, a daily routine as well, you know, and settling down with a good woman. Find a nice woman if you can, inshallah. And, you know, and then, like I said, the last one is growing your family, man, and having children. That really just solidifies everything, man. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I've got fucking hay fever coming out of my eyes, so I know I've been twitching a little bit. I do apologise. But guys, I'll see you on the next one. God bless.